The Modern Warfare beta has officially wrapped up and come to an end as of yesterday, Monday. And now we won't be playing the game until October 25th, which is the complete launch of the game. And this beta was one of the most interesting betas I have ever seen personally for a Call of Duty game, because it seemed like people either completely loved the game or absolutely despised it. There was really none of this middle ground. And generally speaking, when a beta for a Call of Duty game comes out, it generally leans one way or the other. With like Black Ops 3, we had people absolutely loving the game and then some people in the middle ground. And then with Infinite Warfare, there was a bunch of people absolutely despising the game and then a bunch of middle ground. And with this game, that middle ground just seems to not exist. People seem to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. And I think I have a pretty good reason as to why that is. If you look and compare Black Ops 4 to Modern Warfare, they are literally completely the opposite sides of the spectrum. Modern Warfare is this ultra-realistic, gritty, real Call of Duty game that has an incredibly fast time to kill and bases its gameplay around playing methodical and thinking out every single thing you do. Whereas Black Ops 4 is more of this cartoony arcade shooter that's fast-paced and basically forces you to play the game as fast and as loose as possible. It also has a longer time to kill to help promote that. Literally games on both sides of the spectrum. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's great to have Call of Duty games that play and feel different. But going from Black Ops 4 with this long time to kill that really promotes run and gun gameplay, to Modern Warfare, a game with an incredibly fast time to kill that is slow and methodical, and because of that, people are going to be camping, you're going to get people that just don't know what to do with themselves. And personally for me, I think for the first weekend of the beta, I was almost in shock with what I've been doing for the past year, having a 3-kill death ratio in Black Ops 4, and then going to this and just getting absolutely trounced by someone looking out a window. What the hell am I doing wrong? But then when I started to think about it, and going back to the old school Call of Duty games, whether that be Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4, World at War, even Black Ops 1, those games kind of played like this faster time to kill that you really had to think about everything you do, every move, every window you look out. And it's just a different style of Call of Duty game that I really don't think we've seen in over 5 years. Now that being said, I do definitely think there's things they could do and take from the beta to change them to make it a little bit more friendly with players who want to play more aggressively. One of those big things that I talked about with the first weekend of the beta is simply Claymores. Claymores in the beta, to me, are still just retarded. If you put on Restock and Shrapnel, you can just constantly have Claymores you can put down, sit in a room, and wait for people to run into the room and just blow up. Even if you use EOD, a perk that basically stops the damage, yes, it helps, and if you run through one Claymore, you're probably not going to die. But if they place two, like they can with Shrapnel and Restock, well, you're just simply screwed. Now, Claymores were a thing like this all the way back in Modern Warfare 2. There was actually something called Scavenger, which we know and has been in like almost every Call of Duty game. But in Modern Warfare 2, it actually also restocked your Claymores. People had a problem with it, so they removed it from the game. Once again, it just promotes camping, promotes people sitting in one building alone, and just replacing down the same explosive. Personally, I would like to see these Claymores toned down. I don't think they should work with Restock, or if they do, you shouldn't be able to use Shrapnel with Restock. I see a problem there, and I think that that's something a lot of people will complain about. Now, as far as the good things from the first weekend of the beta, really none of that actually changed. I still think the kill streaks are fantastic. Now, we're going to talk about score streaks and point streaks in a little bit, but as far as the kill streaks actually go as how they work really well. They kill a lot of people. They feel good. They feel rewarding. The weapons are the best part about this game. The fact that one attachment on a weapon can make it feel completely different is fantastic. Something that I personally have never seen in a Call of Duty game before, and something I look forward to going even deeper with once all the attachments are out in the final version of the game on October 25th. So all of those things remain the same. Unfortunately, the bad things from Weekend 1 also kind of remain the same. The one big one that wasn't even touched was spawns. Now, a lot of people I saw tweeting at me saying the spawns have got better. They didn't touch the spawns. The spawns are literally identical to the first weekend of the beta. They even said that themselves. And personally, to me, these are the worst spawns I've seen in a Call of Duty game, maybe ever. The amount of times you spawn either right beside an enemy or even at an enemy flag in domination doesn't make any sense to me. I think what it comes down to is not having enough spawn points, or the spawn logic just being a little bit off. You see, there's certain things programmed into the game, like if an enemy is staring at a spawn location, you shouldn't spawn there. This has been in Call of Duty games for a very long time, and it seems to be there within Modern Warfare, but spawn radiuses aren't a thing. So if the enemy is not looking at that spot, but they're right beside the spot, you can still spawn there. But if they're looking at it, you can't. It's very odd and definitely needs some work done on it, and that hasn't happened yet. But they did tell us that they are working on it. They're taking all the data from the beta, and it should be better for launch. My worry is that they're not going to get time to test the new spawns, so they're still probably not going to be perfect at launch. That's really my biggest complaint with the entire beta, is the spawns. The spawns were just not great. And we'll talk about ground war spawns in a little bit, but still, even with that, they're better, but not great. The second thing is camping. Now, people in the last video were arguing in the comments whether camping is just a part of Call of Duty, whether it should or shouldn't be in there. Some people were exactly right. Camping is always going to be a thing in Call of Duty. It doesn't matter how aggressive your gameplay style is and how aggressive the game is built. There's still going to be people that sit in a room and don't move. There will always be. I don't personally understand it, but they're always going to be there. The problem I had with the camping in there isn't that there was camping in the game. That's always going to be there. It's the fact that it seemed like the game was promoting camping. They wanted people camping. That's the game style that everyone should be playing. And if you have a Call of Duty game where that is the only viable game style, people won't kill each other. They just will get in a window and not move, right? And it seemed like there were problems with Claymores, with time to kill, that were really promoting that. And going into the second weekend of the beta, it got better. It 100% got better. I think one thing was just more people were playing it across more consoles, more people were running around. On top of that, people were getting used to the maps, which is going to promote running around. On top of that, the mini-map was in there, which is going to promote running around. So all of these things compounded together to make it better. It is still much more camping than Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 3 or any of those games, much more. But it is to the point where you can now implement a run and gun style and do pretty good at the game. So as far as the camping goes, I'm not as against it now as I was during the first weekend. But once again, guys, this is my opinion, and if you disagree with it, you can completely let me know down in the comments. I always want to hear what you guys have to say. Now, the big thing with weekend 2, which shocked me. It was ground war. I don't even know where to start with this. Ground war was something I was really, really worried about. After going to the Modern Warfare reveal, I think it was in August, and playing the 20v20 on Ania Palace, it was terrible. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I know a lot of other YouTubers and people who were there were like, well, it's not great, but remember, this is the It was just straight up bad. And there could have been a combination of two things. One, we were playing against really good players, but I think more likely the problem with that was Ania Palace itself. That map was horribly designed with spawns that weren't there. Like, you had to spawn at your team's flags, which means you were completely spawn trapped. Whereas when we look at the 32v32 ground war, you can spawn on teammates, you can spawn on vehicles, you can spawn on the various flags, and that fixes a lot with the spawn mechanics in ground war. In fact, after going back and playing 6v6 or 10v10 after playing ground war, I missed those spawn mechanics. I missed being able to spawn on teammates, being right back into the action. I think that is fantastic in ground war and one of the best features. Now, there are problems with the spawns in ground war. Ground war spawns, it can spawn you and you can die instantly. It can spawn enemies in a room in one of the warehouses just over and over and over again, even if one of their teammates is not there. There is problems with the spawns in ground war. Do not get me wrong. There's problems with spawn traps in ground war. One big thing is, unlike regular 6v6, you can literally just have the enemy team spawn trapped in their spawn, not able to move out of it whatsoever. And if no one on the team breaks out of that or gets in a helicopter or you blow up the helicopter, they're screwed. They just can't move out of it. It's a complete spawn trap for the entire game. And of course, that's a big problem as well. And I don't really know how they fix that other than different map designs and different routes to get out of spawns. That's really the only advice I can give on that. But the spawns are so much better than they were in 20v20. On top of that, the Quarry's map design was really good. I think it was a really good map. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with these 32v32 ground war maps, because I can't stress it enough. I did not think I was going to like ground war. I just really didn't. And then I played it and I'm like, well, shit, this is good. It might even be better than 6v6. I was literally shocked. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I'm dead serious. I really, really liked ground war. I liked how kill streaks worked in it. I was worried that if you got a gunship or something like that, I thought it was just going to annihilate the enemy team and there was nothing they could do about it. But it turns out when there's 32 people on the enemy team, if even 6 of those 32 people decide, oh, I'm going to shoot that thing down, your kill streak is gone. And there's so many people that even if your kill streak's up for a short period of time, it can get 5 or 6 kills pretty easily. So that balance, because there's so many people, but at the same time, there's so many people that are going to be shooting it down, kill streaks just kind of work in this game mode. And that, once again, for lack of a better way of explaining it, surprised me. I didn't think it would work. Now, there are problems with the kill streaks. For example, the VTOL or the Harrier can literally shoot through roofs. Like, literally, you can be hiding inside, and the Harrier's just going to kill you anyway. They need to fix that, but that's something that they're going to discover in the beta. I believe that they said that is something that they're absolutely working on. There were other problems with 32v32 as well, one of which was there was out-of-map glitches. People could get under the map and just kill everyone, and you couldn't do anything about them. That is super annoying, but again, that's something I kind of expected of a beta, something that I expect should be fixed for the actual launch of the game. The worry, though, is not all the ground war maps are in the game, so it worries me that these out-of-the-map glitches are literally going to be on every ground war map at the launch of the game. But as long as the team at Infinity Ward stays on top of that and patches them, hopefully within a couple of days of people finding them, they should be able to stay on top of that. But the big thing is, for me, compared to Weekend 1, Ground War added a lot of things. It added a much faster paced game mode than I thought it was going to be. I thought Ground War was going to be everyone camping and no gunfights happen and these giant maps were just going to kind of suck. And don't get me wrong, there was locations on this map where people would just sit and camp and it was super annoying. The cliff off to the one side where people would just sit with snipers or drive a tank up there and just fire barrages down upon the city. That was super annoying, but there was always enough people that seemed to be running to the middle flags and trying to capture them that it kind of evened out. And I think the thing is once the final game is launched and there is score streaks in the game, there's support streaks in the game, people are going to be even more incentivized to play those objectives, and Ground War is just going to even get better from there. Like I said before, there is always, and I mean always, going to be campers in Call of Duty. No matter what, no matter how the game is designed, no matter how maps are designed, people will find a way to sit in the corner with an LMG with a thermal sight and just wait and stare at a doorway. It will always, always be there. But there can be game designs implemented to reduce that. Things like score streaks, things like mini-maps. All these things that they are now implementing and will be there at the launch of the game that will make it better. And yes, this game feels different than Black Ops 4. It feels worlds different. I literally think this is the biggest jump from one Call of Duty to another that we have ever seen back to back. Ever. Even going from Infinite Warfare to World War II, this seems like a bigger jump. The time to kill difference, the way guns feel. It also must be something to do with the game engine as well changing. It just feels different. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. And I personally really enjoyed the beta. It makes me look forward to the launch of the game. It makes me look forward to wanting to hop into Ground War and grind out the levels and play a ton of the game, level up or prestige or whatever is going to be in the final game. And I am now really looking forward to the launch of the game. And I was worried when the first weekend was out. I was worried when that mini map wasn't there. I was worried that it was just going to be too boring of a game. But now that Ground War is out there, now that the mini map is there, now that they've made all these changes, I can say thoroughly that I am excited for the launch of the game. And I guess that's my review. I'm not really going to give it a score out of 10 because I think I need to play the game more. I think I need to see the whole game before I really judge it. But what I can say is that this is absolutely a game I will be playing the shit out of once it's actually launched. That's my review of it. But As always, this is my opinion. If you disagree with me, I'm curious what you guys have to say. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, it's always appreciated if you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and like what you see here, I'd love it if you could hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace out.
Listen.